Hi kids, welcome to our online Bible story. My name is Miss Lair and today we have a story about a king. Yes, a king. I'm going to give you more clues, but don't worry. I hope you will actually get who this king is, okay? The first clue is a crown. I'm a queen. But this is not the story of a queen. This is a story of a king. So let's look at the second clue. Let's see what we have here. Looks like a sheep. Could this king have something to do with sheep? Was he maybe a shepherd before he became king? Can you guess who this person is? This is King David. Yes, you know him as a guy who defeated Goliath with just a sling and a stone. But do you know how he came to become king? Well, I want to tell you this story. So, this is what happened. The Israelites became such a big nation. They were so powerful. And so they asked to be given a king. And Samuel, who was God's prophet to his people, told them, you don't need a king. You have God. God is your king. But they insisted and said, no, we want a king that we can see and speak to and who can also speak to us. So God said, fine, we'll give you a king. But God knew in his heart that a king would not love his people like he did. And he wouldn't be kind or even take care of his people like he could. But he gave them a king anyway, and his name was Saul. Now, Saul was kind of good at the start, but then he had pride in his heart, and he stopped listening to God. So God sent Samuel to a little town in Bethlehem to go and make a new king. And this is what happened. So Samuel went to the little town of Bethlehem. God told Samuel to go to Jesse's house. God was going to choose one of Jesse's sons to be the new king. Jesse had 7 strong sons. Now, in those days, it was very, very difficult to be king. You didn't have to be rich or clever or have like a lot of land, but you had to be the strongest and the tallest so you can carry the biggest sword and the biggest armor. And so when Samuel went to Jesse's house, Jesse thought that he was going to choose the tallest and the strongest son. Let's see what happens. Samuel asked Jesse to bring him each son in turn. So Jesse brought the oldest, tallest, strongest son. This must be the new king, Samuel thought. He looks like a king, but God didn't choose him. You're thinking about what he looks like on the outside, God told Samuel, but I am looking at his heart, what he's like on the inside. So Jesse showed Samuel his next oldest, tallest, strongest son. But God didn't choose him either. In fact, God didn't choose any of the 7 sons. Samuel said, is that all? Jesse laughed. Oh, well, there's the youngest one, but he's just the weakling of the family. Bring him, said Samuel. Jesse's youngest son came running up, and God spoke quietly to Samuel. This is the one. His name was David. Now, at this point, God thought, David has a heart like mine. He has love in his heart, and he will help me in my big plan to rescue the entire world. And one day, his children's children was going to be the king. And so God wanted to make David king. Did that happen? Let's see. Samuel anointed David's head with oil, which was a special way to show that you are God's chosen king. You will be the new king one day, Samuel told him. And sure enough, when David grew up, he became king. And he was a good king. He loved his people and he taught his people about God. There was going to come an even greater king from the line of David who was going to rescue the entire world. And God was going to send some people and tell them, go to a little town in Bethlehem, and there on a starry night, you will meet the king. So guys, do you remember the memory verse from last week? Let's say it together. Philippians 4:6. Don't worry about anything. No matter what happens, tell God about everything. Ask, pray, and give thanks to him. for this week's memory verse comes from the book of Psalm 44, verse 4. And this is how it goes. You are my King and my God. You give victories to your people. Can we say it one more time? You are my King and my God. You give victories to your people. Great job, everyone. That's from Psalm 44, verse 4. That's it from me today. And guys, remember that we have a King and He is God and we don't need any other. All right. I will see you again next Sunday. Goodbye.